Fans have been patiently waiting on the new season of Bad Boys ever since they did auditions for Bad Boys Houston. Months have gone by and we've heard nothing. But now, Zeus is officially releasing the cast of season 2, Bad Boys Texas. And you better believe we gonna talk about it. Welcome back to Damien After Dark. If you're new here or you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, click the thumbs up button and like this video to support the channel. Last but not least, join the conversation. I want to hear from you what you think about this new cast and this new season of Bad Boys Texas. So let's start off by saying I saw an interview with Natalie because originally this show was supposed to be called Bad Boys Houston. The auditions were called Bad Boys Houston. The auditions, that's what we, the fans, have been expecting since they released this. Well, the show, when they did the cast reveal, they decided, we, the fans, saw that they decided to name the show Bad Boys Texas. Okay, I'm fine with that, but I was wondering what happened. So I got answers for you on that. Seeing Natalie do an interview with, I think it was 97.9 in Houston. Sorry if I got that wrong, but I think that was the name of the station. She did an interview with a host there, as well as Low London from Baddies was there too. And she said that they're pretty much going to be taking over cities in Texas. So I'm like, okay, they're going to kind of do this Baddie style, but maybe not on a tour bus, which is fine, I guess, since it's only going to be Texas and there's only so many cities they can do in Texas. But I really wish they would just keep them in the house, BGC style, I guess, and then do things outside of the house. Take them on a little trip somewhere, have them do dinner scenes. They can go to the club a few nights, go bowling, those type of things. But it looks like what we're going to get from Bad Boys Texas is them going to different cities, showing up, I guess, at clubs and partying. Another thing that Natalie said about this season that I will say before we get into the cast is that this cast is going to be a lot different from season 1 because there's going to be more of a balance with gay and straight men. She said that like last season, there was mainly all gays and we had Curtis and Mulamo, who was allegedly straight. Mulamo, at least, allegedly, not Curtis. But, so she said this cast is going to be more balanced and there's going to be half gay guys and there's like half straight guys, which there is from what I've seen. So we'll get into that. Now, season 1 of Bad Boys was a flop. We all know it kind of flopped. I think the casting kind of struggled in that department and it just overall was not a good season. So I'm hoping season 2 will be the redemption season now that they've got their training wheels off and they have their brand and theme of what they're going to do with the show. So I don't know how I feel about this new season because of the fact that let's get into the cast. We have 4 returning new cast members from last season, 2 celebrity cast members, and we have 5 new, so to speak, regular personalities, people that you and I wouldn't know. Now, Zeus is calling these 5 regular, but 2 of them I know. 2 of them are considered social media influencers, have been on reality TV, and that was Prince from Love and Hip Hop and Chef D, who has dated Saucy Santana and is always seen out. We're going to get into that. We've got so much to talk about when it comes to this casting thing. Let's start with the returning cast members. So, returning from last season, we have Jonathan, who was never really an official cast member. If you remember, he came in at the end of the season in a few episodes, but the fans loved him. I think they ended up adding him into the intro and the promo shoot or whatever. But he wasn't really like official. He wasn't on every episode. So they brought Jonathan back, which I think was a good choice. I think it was a good decision. If he was anything like he was on last season, the girls are going to fall in line. Okay? I like Jonathan. I like that he held his own, and I like that he let them know, even the straight dudes know, you ain't going to fuck with me just because I'm gay. And just because he's gay and he's a hairdresser, people are probably going to assume that he can't do shit. But Jonathan will show you straight up, bitch, I will fucking mop you with this floor. What you want to do? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm here for it. I don't know about y'all. How do y'all feel about Jonathan? Are you wanting Jonathan back? Do you not want him back? I want him back because, look, we got a lot of straight males in the house. We saw last season there was only 2 straight males in the house, and there was a lot of not even underhanded, but just passive-aggressive remarks when it comes to the gays. Like, oh, just as long as you don't hit on me, bro. Whatever Mo was on last season. So I like that Jonathan's there because there'll be no foolery. There'll be no bullshit. Nobody's going to try him. That's it. Relly is back. I have mixed feelings about it. I just have mixed feelings about it all. Now look, Rail's got funny confessionals. Let's just be real with it. He's got funny confessionals, but I cringe at his behavior sometimes. I really do. I don't agree with his behavior. You know, last season he was just fighting on anybody and drunk and falling over, especially in the beginning. And yeah, it can be entertaining, but a lot of times it felt like he was just showing off for the cameras, trying to get a moment and trying to show out. And I get we're trying to make TV. I know that. But let it be authentic. And Rail sometimes just comes off like thirsty. Sorry, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and I like him, but I'm gonna say it. The Carry On is back. Our boo Carry On. I'm super excited he's back. Um, he's nice to look at. I liked his friendship with Gutta K that he had last season. I like that he didn't let none of those boys punk him. Especially Mo. Let's get back to Mo. You know, last season Curtis was kind of dealing with his sexuality. He didn't really know what he liked or what he was, whatever. And Mo was like, well, what are you? What are you? I need to know what you are. So when I'm around you, I know how you move. Like, what is that even supposed to mean? So Carry On stood up to his ass, stood up to Milan. You know, he didn't take no shit either. So I fucked with Carry On, and he wasn't one of those that, he was chill. He didn't try to do the most for the cameras. He was himself. So I'm glad that he's back. Now, Anthony's back. Just like Rail, I have mixed feelings about Anthony. I'm not going to lie. He gives me the vibes of one of those gays who think they're better than other people. I'm hoping this season changes that for me, really. Like, because honestly, y'all, fame is such a drug. Like, really. The most addictive drug. And some of these people, they get fame, and it's a turnoff with who they become. You know what I'm saying? You see these people, you see them on a show, and then it's like, yeah, a whole other person. And if I'm not mistaken, Anthony was one of those that, if I'm not mistaken, so forgive me if I'm wrong. Y'all check me in the comments. But on Twitter, and after the season, there was a lot of drama between Anthony, Gutta K. You know, all the cast members were fighting and shit. And Anthony is one of those who likes to go for the gutter. He was throwing out health reads. And when you talk about someone's health, especially things like in the gay community when it comes to HIV and those type of things, I just find it distasteful and nasty, because at the end of the day, we're all human and anything can happen to any of us. And for Anthony, someone who be on Twitter taking dick raw left and right, no condom, to be shaming someone or alleging that someone, you got this or you got that, it's just wrong. And two, we're in 2023, you know? That is not what it was back in the 80s. I know people who are HIV positive, who are great people, who live great, amazing lives, and it's just nasty when people go for the gutter like that. I just want to say that. Especially when it is perpetuated in this community, or not perpetuated, but a stigma in this community that all gay people have HIV, which is far from the truth. And even though it does affect the gay community, it affects every community. It's not just one community. I mean, that's a whole other video we could get into, but that was one of the reasons why Anthony kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, just because how low he would go. But I kind of enjoyed him on season 1. What do y'all think? Are we here for Anthony being back? Now let's get into these celebrity cast members. Why? Somebody tell me out there, and maybe it'll be entertaining, but why in the fuck did they cast Raz B and Orlando Brown? It's just so left field out there in fucking Zeta Reticuli outer space, okay? It was so out there. I'm like, Raz B and Orlando Brown. I don't know. First of all, let me say this. Zeus, again, I'm saying this again, as I've told y'all many times before. Like y'all, I feel like the parent when I say this. Y'all should be ashamed right now. Now you're going to take advantage of a black man and his mental health for the sake of coins and dollars. Like, you got me over here and questioning my integrity. Like, am I going to feel wrong for doing an after show each and every week when this boy gonna be on this show and there's no telling what could happen. Now look, unless Orlando Brown is healed and he's went and got the help he needs and he's doing good mentally with his mental health, unless he's doing that, I don't think they need to bring him on this show. And I know he hasn't been getting help because he's just been in headlines a few weeks ago about some crazy shit he be doing, he be saying, says crazy stuff. And I don't mean crazy in that way, but, says off the wall stuff, does off the wall stuff. His appearance just doesn't look healthy at all. And Orlando Brown has no place to be filming a reality show in a house with a bunch of punks. When there's us fighting 24/7, like what? It just feels like this was the wrong move. It really feels like this was the wrong move. Now, maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll get on the show and we'll see a totally different side. But y'all better not take advantage of this boy and jump this man. Because I'm going to have to check out. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. How do y'all feel about Orlando Brown? We know Orlando, but if you don't know him, just as I know a lot of y'all are probably like, we know who he is. But for those who don't, not everybody knows. Orlando Brown is known for playing on the Disney Channel show That's So Raven back in the early 2000s. If you're a 90s baby, you know That's So Raven. We grew up on That's So Raven. That was one of our shows, right? Now let's move on to Raz B. When is the last time we heard from Raz B? Seriously. I know he did Love and Hip Hop. I think he did a little bit of Love and Hip Hop LA. But, I mean, is he trying to revive his career? Maybe. I mean, the only thing I could think of why Raz B would even associate with this or be associated with Bad Boys is because we're not really talking about him. Love and Hip Hop LA or Hollywood hasn't aired in a while, and I don't think they asked him back. Maybe he is low on money. Maybe he is trying to revive his career, get his name back out there, and he knows that attaching himself to Zeus will help with that. Do other networks not want him? I mean, I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. Does VH1 not want to deal with him? I don't know how I feel about this cast. Like, Zeus, did y'all think y'all ate this cast up? Because I'm going to speak for me. Y'all tell me in the comments if you agree with this. I want fresh faces. The best talent comes from undiscovered talent, raw talent. People we have not seen on a reality show. People who was not in a boy band years ago. People who were not on a show 20 years ago. People who were not influencer. I mean, you could be an influencer, I guess, but can you not be can you not have been in households where we know you? Raw, fresh. Look at Bobby I Love You Purr. That cast and that show was so special and interesting because all those guys were from different backgrounds. They didn't know one another and they put them in a house together. And I'm like, this is what Bad Boys is supposed to be. But y'all keep bringing in these people who've had cameras in their faces before, who've had producers in their ear before, who've done this TV game. So they kind of come in already with a persona or with the way they're going to act. And it just doesn't always come off authentic. So I just hope that this season doesn't give what last season gave, which was Thirst Bucket. I don't know. They're just killing me with like the whole celebrity editions because like, and Natalie was even saying in that interview that she did, we got some huge, like some mega singers that are going to be on the show, a huge TV star and a huge singer. Like, no shade, Natalie, but Raz B and Orlando Brown, like, they're not huge mega stars. I'm not shading. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being real. They're not, Raz B is not Chris Brown. Orlando Brown is not Michael B. Jordan. That's a mega star. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Orlando Brown and Raz B, they be in the media, but it's always for negative stuff, unfortunately. Now let's move on to the new guys, the new boys that are going to be on the show, the ones that we don't know. Now, Zeus is saying these are new faces, people you don't know. Two out of 2 out of 5 of these boys are not new faces, Zeus. 2 out of 5 of these boys should have been into like an influencer category, or if you want to do the celebrity category, since that's a loose term. Chef D. Let's get into Chef D. So Chef D is one of the ones who is not I guess he's regular to a lot of people, and a lot of you may not know him. However, he has been on TV before. He has done, we've seen him on Zeus. I forgot what show he was on Zeus, where he was in the background a lot. He runs around with Natalie. I'm pretty sure, he finally begged and pleaded enough to Natalie and Zeus, so they finally put him on the show and casted him. He was on the Bad Boys Houston's auditions, but I don't think that was just out of that he got the audition because they loved him. I think it's because they promised him. We're going to get into what I think about, or actually what I know that Zeus is doing with these auditions in a second. Anyway, Chef D is a celebrity chef, and he got his foot in the door when he started, cooking for these different people in the industry. And then he started dating Saucy Santana. They were seen out and about, and that's where he was getting more and more recognized. And that's when I could tell, honestly, that he was not into Saucy Santana. This guy totally, just wants to be famous. And that's okay. That's fine. But the way he goes about it, you could totally tell he was not into Santana. It was all for the clout in the moment, which is why they're probably not together now. I don't think he's ever been satisfied being a chef. I think when he's cooking for other people at their homes and the cameras are up and whatnot, he wants to be a part of that. He doesn't like being in the background. So now he's on Bad Boys LA. We're going to give him a chance. We're going to see. We're going to give him a shot. Now, Prince from Love and Hip Hop. Prince is from Love and Hip Hop Miami. I love me some Prince, okay? He really is a kind person. He's very handsome, super sexy, and people have always assumed he's gay, but he insists that he's not, and I really don't think he is, honestly. I actually, I have a story about Prince. I don't really know him like that, but I've talked to him, and let me tell you why I fuck with Prince, okay? So, a couple years ago, I want to say this was like either 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2021. A couple years ago, I went down to Miami. That's where Prince lives. And I was with some friends, and my family was there. I had my brother, my mom. We were all having a good time. And I had ran out of weed. I didn't have any more weed left. And I'm in Miami. It's not legal there. It's medically legal, but you can't go into a shop and get it like you could in California. So I knew that I followed Prince on Instagram. I was a fan. I watched him on Love and Hip Hop. I thought he was sexy. Sorry, Prince. And I went on Instagram and I DM'd him. And I said, hey, Prince, I know you live in Miami. I know you don't really know me, but is there any way you could help me get some weed? It was just so spur of the moment and random. I don't know why I thought about him. And I messaged him, and he sent me his plugs, a screenshot of his number, sent me his information, where he lived. And I thought that was so dope because Prince didn't know me from anybody. Like, I could have been undercover for all he knew. But he took a chance on me. I guess he felt my vibe was real, was cool. And he sent me his dude's number. I went and met up with him downtown in Brickell. And I picked the weed up. Dude lived in a high rise. He was cool as fuck. We talked for a minute. And yeah. Prince ain't, and the plug had that Zaza, okay? And the plug had the Zaza. But that's why Prince ain't got nothing bad to say about the guy. He's cool. He's a cool dude. Now, how do y'all feel about him being on the show, by the way? Make sure you comment with each of these people if you have anything specific that you want to say about them. If you got any tea that we need to know before we get into the season and what's going to happen. Because, listen, Bad Boys Texas will be here in April, probably. They're filming now. So, Zeus's turnaround is about a month. It'll be up probably by the end of April, 1st of May. No later than May, for sure. Now, Crush. Y'all remember Crush from Bobby, I Love You, Purr? The Latino-looking boy with the curly hair, kind of look mixed too. He spilled some tea on his Instagram regarding casting and how casting works for Zeus. And he said that he knows that a lot of these guys that show up to the Bad Boys or the auditions, that Zeus has already pre-selected them and pretty much told them, hey, we want you on the show. Show up to the auditions so it looks like you're auditioning, and that the cast and that the viewers saw you, and then we'll just pick you. So people like Prince, people like Chef D, who showed up to the Bad Boys Houston auditions, they were told to show up there. Zeus already wanted them. They were already in talks. Chef D already knew Natalie. He already knew that he already had a relationship with Zeus and Natalie. So that was his connection in. And they wanted him to show up to the audition. Same with Prince. Now, I'm not 100% sure with Prince, but he's already known. I'm pretty sure he's probably got some connections. He knows Bobby Lights. Prince knows Bobby. Bobby Lights was on Love and Hip Hop Miami, and Prince was part of his storyline. They allegedly had a thing going on at one point. But there's relationships with Zeus with a lot of these people who are on the show. So only think like 2 or 3 of them were chosen from the auditions, honestly. 1,000% believe that Zeus wanted some people with big followings online and just offered them a spot on the show. Prince, Razby, all these other ones, they want that following to come to Zeus, which is not a bad decision. It's actually smart when it comes to marketing. However, you can still have a successful show with people with fresh faces. Look at Bad Girls Club. Now, the only 3 that were actually like not public figures, not really known like that haven't been boy band members, that weren't reality stars, weren't TV actors. There's 3 that I didn't hear of. Now, if these people you consider reality stars, been on TV, celebrities, let me know. But I've never heard any of these guys. We've got Mo City. There's a guy named Mo City. I'm going to try to put their pictures up here if I don't get to do that. I'm sorry. Sometimes it takes forever for the video to upload when I add photos and stuff. So, Mo City. We have a guy named Big Blue. And we have a guy named Arah. A-H-R-A-H. Nobody's using their real name, I guess. I guess we all got stage names. Unless Arah is the dude's real name. Do any of y'all know any of these guys? Mo City, Big Blue, and Arah. I'm interested and anxious to see what they bring to the show. Who is going to challenge whom, how the straights are going to coexist with the gays. Now, over half of the men, like I said, on this cast are straight or claim to be. I'm not saying that they're not. I do get a little suspicious when guys come on this show when they know, like, okay, let me say this. Some people get on this show and I feel like they act like they've never watched Bad Girls Club. And it's like, how do you not know what you're getting on? But I do give some guys the benefit of the doubt when they see a show like Bad Boys and just think that it's going to be a bunch of bad boys, straight boys, on a show together. So I can give a benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. So it's just going to be interesting seeing some straight single guys. I like that they're doing that. I like that they're adding more of a balance. I think it's going to be cool. We don't have a release date yet. Like I told you, it should be out by the end of April or early May. Maybe they'll have it out even midway. I don't know. But Zeus, please don't rush through it and give us sloppy, rushed content. The boys just flew out to Texas recently. They're filming now. I don't know if I have much faith in you, Zeus, with this new season. Have you learned anything from season 1? Like, y'all made us wait this long. I really hope that it's not a flop. But another thing I wanted to bring up is the returning boys. I could see bringing back 1 returning cast member, maybe 2, but I wish we wouldn't have had 4. They were on last season. We don't need to see all 4 of them again. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen Jonathan and Carry On, and that's it. I could have lived without Rel and Anthony, but they were also a big part of their last season, so I can kind of understand why they're bringing them back. I've said it 100 times before. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. We talked about that. seeing the same people. We don't want to keep saying the same people on these shows, you know. Another thing, Natalie, please, for the love of God, stay out of this season. Please, we get it. You are the EP of all these shows. You are the queen of Zeus. We get it. Please, let the boys have their chance. You have been on every single Zeus show. We don't need you as a moderator. We don't need you as a host. We don't need you to do an introduction to the bad boys. We don't need any of that. Okay? If you want to host your own little separate special with the bad boys casting, then that's different. But actually coming on the show and being in the house, hi boys, this is the house. No, please, Natalie, I love you. I do. But none of that. None of that. Okay? So, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the cast of this new season, Bad Boys Texas, Season 2? Also, how do you feel about the old cast members returning? Relly, Carry On, Jonathan, and Anthony. Are you glad they're returning, or do you wish none of them were returning at all? Do you guys like the idea of these celebrity cast members, Raz B and Orlando Brown? How do you guys feel about those two joining the cast? Is it wrong for Zeus to be exploiting Orlando Brown during this mental health crisis that he's been battling publicly over the last few years? Or did Orlando Brown grown? He'd do what he wants. He signed the contract. Zeus has no fault. How do you feel about that? Will you be watching this new season of Bad Boys Texas? I hope so. If you watch, make sure you tune in to the after show, the official Bad Boys Texas after show each and every Sunday night right after the episode airs here on YouTube. I love you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, join the conversation, all those things. And we will see you soon. Love y'all.